Shalawam, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double wonders to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to like out there doing this work of faith and labor of love, true sincerity. Alright, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahawah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right, so, I brought this precept out, because what I want to get into is basically study tips, Lord willing, that can help brothers, be helpful to brothers, or is edifying, that may help brothers within their studies or however they do things, or maybe you can incorporate the method that I use, So basically, we supposed to have, daily readings that we all should do, every single day. Now, when you're doing your daily readings, you want to make sure that you're retaining the information in what you're reading. You don't want to just read through it just to say you've read it. You want to make sure that you lock in the information. So what I typically do is I usually take between 5 to 10 chapters, that I would pick out, to actually study and then lock in. It may take 2 to 3 days, maybe a week, depending on how much time I have to actually have, or whatever the case may be, to study and lock things in. So as you can see, like a quick example of the first thing I do, I use these little cards here. As you see here, hopefully brothers can see it. I have Judges test number 1 right here, chapters 1 through 10. Another one, Joshua test 1, and this is chapters 1 through 9. Another one, 1 Samuel test number 1, chapters 1 through 10. So these are the ones, I pretty much got like 1 through 10. But sometimes, like I said, or I do 1 through 5, and I'm about to start more so doing 1 through 5 because, of time constraints and stuff like that. But so the first thing that I do as far as that, as you can see underneath, I would formulate questions out of the chapters in which I'm reading. If it's 10 chapters, I would try to get out at least 10 questions, depending on, what information that I think is most vital, or points that should stick out to me, or certain things that I think I should know, within those chapters, things of significance, And the second thing that I would do, as I'm reading, in the strap, I would go through and I would highlight precepts that stick out to me, because, you highlight them precepts, those are things you can always go back to, if you looking for a scripture or something, And the third thing that I would do is after I finish reading either the 5 or 10 chapters, I would pretty much write an outline or an overview of the whole chapter, so that I can have the storyline locked in my dome. Because say for instance, if you're at camp and you may not want to actually go to a precept or go to the point and say Judges, you just might want to quote it. You might want to quote the storyline. So at least if I've been studying the overview or the outline of those chapters, at least I have the storyline locked in my head. So when I'm in camp, it should go a little fluently, so that I shouldn't forget it that much. So those are pretty much like the tips in which I use, to study during my daily readings. And also too, I did a video a little while back. I believe it was entitled "Stay in the Spirit on the Go," where I showed brothers how to basically turn videos into MP3 format and to load them up to your smartphones, so that you can be on the go and you can listen to the word on the go. Now you can do the same thing with your lessons, that you may write out in your notebook or that you write out on your cards. You can write them out, or instead of doing that, you can make notes of them, on your smartphone, if you got a recorder on your phone or whatever, and just recite everything, and you can separate them, or however you want to do it. You can, upload them, and then download them to your phone, and that way you can still have the audio of your lessons, while you at work or while you driving, whatever the case may be. You're in your car, you going somewhere, You know, you just put in the aux cord to your phone, and you know, you could be listening to yourself, you know, your studies while you want to go still. So you can do that method too. Another thing is, you know, you can if you have like Word documents or notepads on your computer and stuff like that, you can you can type them out on your computer. You know, you can put them to a PDF format, and you can just send them to your phone, send them to your email. That's where you always have a PDF format of them, and you can send them out to other brothers within your camp, you know, to help brothers try to stay sharp, so on and so forth, you know. So those are the typical things that I do, you know, during my, you know, my daily readings to really try to help me retain, you know, the knowledge. Because as I said, you want to make sure as you're reading that you're retaining, you know, the things in which you read, not just to read them and, you know, say you read it or to get through it, you know, because we have to show ourselves approved by studying, you know. So was it anything else I had to bring out? I think that's it. If I have any other points, you know, Lord willing, I'll do another segment. If I have any other points that I missed or that I want to bring out, you know. So, you know, I hope, you know, as I said, this segment was edifying, may help some brothers, you know, that you might incorporate it, or, you know, or you can look at the way that I did it, you know, and you may switch it up to however your liking is, you know what I'm saying, whatever best fits you. You know, you don't have to do it my way. You could just take examples of how I did things and formulate things within your head and come up with your own way of doing things, because we all learn differently. But this is a method that I use personally for myself, and you know, and it helps me to study while I'm at work, because you know, sometimes, you know, at home, you know, depending on your situation, you know, you might not have a lot of time to actually lock in the quiet time. So I have more quiet time actually at work, you know, than I do, you know, at home to study, you know. So with that, you know, as I said, you know, I hope this is edifying. You know, so I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek up there, doing this work of faith and labor, love, true sincerity. Shalawam, death to America.